For horrifying, true. Treehouse. Horror Stories 1. The Whispering Treehouse. In the quiet suburbs of a small town, a family built a charming treehouse in their backyard. It became a sanctuary for the children, who spent countless afternoons playing games and telling stories. But at night, the treehouse whispered. The father dismissed the noises as the wind, until one evening he climbed up to investigate. Inside, he found strange carvings etched into the wooden walls, symbols that none of his family had made. The next day, the children swore they hadn't gone near the treehouse that night. Disturbed but determined, the father stayed up to catch whoever was sneaking in. As he watched, he saw shadows darting around the yard. When he approached, there was no one. Yet when he looked up, the trapdoor to the treehouse was slightly ajar. The family eventually discovered that their treehouse was built on the site of an old ritual grove. They moved out soon after, but the new owners claimed to hear faint whispers in the dead of night. 2. The Screaming Oak. In a dense forest, a group of teenagers found an abandoned treehouse and claimed it as their hangout. From the first visit, they noticed the unsettling silence around the tree. No birds sang, and the wind seemed to avoid the area. The kids laughed it off, until one night, when they decided to camp there. As midnight approached, a piercing scream erupted from the tree itself. The sound was so intense that it left one of the boys temporarily deaf. They ran back to town, but when they returned with adults the next day, the treehouse was gone. Only a gnarled, ancient oak stood in its place. Locals later told the kids about the Screaming Oak, a cursed tree where victims of a long-forgotten crime were said to haunt the land. No one dared to approach it after dark again. 3. The Ghostly Tenant. In a rural neighborhood, a father built a treehouse for his son in an old, sprawling elm. For weeks, the boy talked about a new friend he'd met in the treehouse, a pale girl in a white dress who liked to play hide-and-seek. The father assumed his son was imagining things until he noticed footprints in the dirt under the treehouse. They were too small to be his son's. One night, the father decided to confront whoever was trespassing. As he climbed the ladder, he felt an icy hand grab his ankle. Panicking, he looked down, but no one was there. Inside the treehouse, he found a dusty, antique locket with a faded photo of a young girl. After researching the land, he learned that a girl had fallen to her death from that very tree decades ago. The father tore the treehouse down the next morning. The Cursed Hideout. A family purchased an old property with a massive treehouse hidden deep in the woods. The previous owners left abruptly, but the family didn't think much of it. Their 2 kids were thrilled with the discovery and started playing there daily. Strange things began happening. The kids came home with scratches they couldn't explain and started waking up screaming in the middle of the night. The parents found odd trinkets, animal bones, strange dolls, and burnt candles inside the treehouse. One evening, the mother found her daughter sitting in the treehouse, muttering in a language she didn't recognize. She tried to bring her down, but the child refused to leave, saying, "They won't let me." Terrified, the family sought help from a local historian, who revealed that the treehouse was once the site of occult gatherings. The family abandoned the property, leaving the treehouse and its secrets to the forest. The house remains unsold, and locals warn against going near it.